the movies and they want you to pay.
When girls want to pay, you should let them, but you
Oh,
shouldn't
man,
be
that's
like
fine,
you know, every other.
Hey, what's good? This is Steve Omar here, and I just want to give a shout out to Brandon and everybody out there on the range. I had a good experience working with these guys because it's a real laid-back environment, being around people that I know, you know, people my age, and just talk about stuff we love, whether it be football, music, relationships, you know, just keeping it real. And it's something tight that people our age can get on and, you know, see. There's so much stuff out there for adults and kids, but, you know, people our age need something we can relate to. So Brandon does that with the range, and it's a pretty dope concept, and I like that.
Mainly, when we like to talk about specific games, to where that we give our insight and explain like why we think this game is like such a matchup to watch, as in to like which team matches up with which team, or how this team could beat them, or like what makes this team like equal to the other team or not. And also the other times when we're choosing games, saying like which team will win. And sometimes when we have to choose between our favorite teams versus another team, we do have to be objective, and we can't be homers all the time. So I mean, it does give everyone who watches the show a different viewpoint, to where that, hey, we're not just talking about our only team, our favorite team only. I mean, they have their good days, their good side and the bad side, and also the team they're playing. I mean, sometimes we don't want to call them scrubs or anything like that, but we do have to find information about that other team, because hey, they could luck up and pull off an upset or something like that. So those are kind of the segments of the show that I do personally enjoy. Also, the joy of just doing it with just like some of your friends, some of your colleagues, or whatever. That's one of the many things that I enjoy about this show personally.
Unfortunately, I'm probably the least most objective person in there because my team sucks, so I still ride with my team. But it's all about doing your job, pretty much. I mean, you got to do your job. If your team is playing a team that's going on a roll, or if your team is playing a team that's one of the best in the league, I mean, you got to be objective. If you feel the other team gonna win, you got to pick them. I mean, there is an instance of upset, but I mean, upsets come down a dozen. I should know that because I mostly pick the upsets and I mostly lose those. So it's all good, but I'm going for the points now. Can't be the Calvin anymore.
Well, I try to be as non-biased as possible on the show, because if we're all non-biased and we're non-partial, then all our panelist side will come out on the show, and it'll be a much better production than as if we were all just, you know, oh, my team's going to win because, well, they're my team. And it makes it much more difficult also because, you know, one of the hardest things to do is pick against your own team, which I did this week, just because I know the Giants are struggling and the Cowboys are playing very well. So it just comes down to being able to put your fanhood, I guess you could say, aside and being a professional. There's parts when, you know, like Justin, almost every show he brings up undefeated or 10-0, 8-0, whatever it may be. And, you know, we have no room to talk because no one else on the show's team is undefeated, but and, you know, the Giants were 5-0 at one point, and I was really excited about it, but since then they haven't really done anything. So, but yeah, that makes it more of a relaxed type environment when we're doing the show. We have our moments when we're serious and we're trying to do what I think is a really good show, and leave our fanhood aside. But at the same time, we'll maybe sneak in a few comments where we give some people a hard time on the show, and it just makes it much more relaxing.
As well.
Oh, absolutely. It makes it much easier to cut a few jokes, give people a hard time. Because if everyone were stiffs, then it wouldn't be any fun. We wouldn't even gotten together to do this.
So the production is a lot better, considering, that everybody is able to, joke around. Nobody is, everybody gets along. But, what if there were, if there were like other people, say if there was a woman included in the show, do you think you would be able to make some of the same, jokes or poke the same type of fun if that woman was on the show?
Well, if she was on the show doing the same thing we were at, like, breaking down games and stuff like that, then yeah, I think we could, like if she was a Saints fan or something, or, I mean, because none of us really like the same teams, which I think adds another great dimension, because we cover all different aspects of the NFL, at least. So if she was even a fan of one of the same teams, it would still add a different dimension, I guess you could say. But I think we could still cut some jokes on her, and as long as she wasn't too serious about it, she would be all right with it.
In a future range topic, let's see. I like to. It's a lot of things. We can continue, like, go dig deeper in the hip hop thing, or we could flip it and get into some poetry, or just talk about some movies that we like, or just talk about the '90s in general. Because I'm a big fan of the '90s. I grew up in the '90s. Kind of helped me become who I am. So I really like to see something like that. Just it's a lot of stuff to talk about. Just
probably some sort of hard-hitting stuff. I don't know. I'm very big, like, in the whole abortion thing. I'm very pro-choice for women. I'm very, very against, like, animal cruelty and stuff, and like preservation of animals and stuff. That's a big thing for me. And then I don't know, horses, skydiving, anything like that.
All right. You're good. Thank you very much.
Future episode of The Range, possibly, we can talk about, like you said, like injuries. When's that, like not necessarily injuries, like when has a player like suffered too much punishment while playing their sport, and when should be like the actual time they should be able to come back without re-injuring themselves and putting their career or life in danger.
Future episodes of The Range, I would say politics will probably be one. I know that's going to be a touchy subject for some people, but you got to keep an open mind about it. I'm not really into the gossip things like media takeout, the TMZ, but I mean, if a bizarre story does come around, I would like to talk about it. Like, I want to talk about the balloon boy at one point, because that right there was kind of crazy. But just random things. I want to talk about the Fort Hood shooting, because that is my hometown, it's my birthplace, so that would have been a good thing to talk about. Just, I guess, things that just make the news that kind of shock the world. Well, I guess you could say just the United States shock the country. I don't know about the world unless it's really just something that's just big. But, I mean, I'm up for any kind of random topic, so it's all right with me. I learned my place when it comes to working with others. Got to give them their time in order to get my time. It's all about respect. We all respect each other, but we do get carried away because it's sports, and men and women, we all love sports for those that do. So, when we talk about sports, we get passionate. It's like we got to prove ourselves. If we don't prove ourselves, it seems like we're losing. So, with time, we're coming along. We're starting to gel. So, I think it's gonna go good.
After The Range, I would love to be able to do something similar to this. On the radio is really what I want to do.